it's Miss Pitzel, and I am book talking one of our newer mysteries. It's called Time Will Tell, and the author is Lyga. The cover is indicative of the beginning of the book because there are four friends, Liam, Alea, Georgia, and Marcy. And these kids have been friends since like elementary school, and they're in high school now. And they learn about a time capsule that their parents buried in 1986. And so and the thing is, they don't find out from their parents, and this is an important fact. They find out because Alea was doing research and found a note about the contents of this time capsule. So they dig it up, and they find inside a bloody knife with a note. Well, obviously that gets them very curious, and they take it to Liam's father, who happens to be sheriff of the department of where they live. And, you know, Alea kind of feels like the sheriff's not doing enough investigation. So she goes to the reporter because, you know, it's a small town. They do a report about, oh, these kids unburied a time capsule, and here's pictures of stuff like that. Well, they don't include the knife in that because the sheriff asked them not to. Well, Alea feels like not enough is happening in terms of the investigation, so she doesn't outright come and say, hey, but says something was in there, and we know what you, and it comes, the quote, she's not misquoted, but it comes out sounding different when the reporter reports it and reports Alea's name, that, hey, there was something in there that might denote a crime, and we know what you did. And that very night after the story comes out, Alea is attacked in her bedroom. I'm not going to get too much into that, but it's a significant attack, and to think of that happening in your own bedroom, but that really spurs these kids on. So important things to note, this is a story told in 5 points of view. So of the four friends, we get Liam's point of view and Alea's point of view. Georgia and Marcy are in there, but we don't get their points of view. And one of the reasons is because there is a flashback. So it goes from present time, because they'll say present time Liam or present time Alea. It goes back in time, and we get the points of view of Jay, Dean, and Kim. And there's Marcus and Antoine are also, and I think there's a Brian also in that group. But we don't get... We hear about them, we know about them, but we don't get those points of view. We only get Jay, Dean, and Kim. One of the things I like is that we know that these kids from the 1980s are the parents of the current kids. But Barry Lyga keeps you guessing as to which parent is which. We do know for a fact that Alea's father is Marcus, because Marcus and Antoine are twins, and Antoine disappeared right after the burying of this time capsule. So there's a lot of, did he run away because he murdered somebody? Was he murdered? There's a lot of things that these kids uncover. I found this to be a super engaging mystery. It had a pretty intricate plot. Like I said, 5 different points of view, multiple 2 different timelines. So some kids might find this too much, but for people who like books kind of like Good Girl's Guide to Murder, I found the plotting and the characterization to be really very good. For diversities, so you understand, Alea's family is African American. We don't know too much, and we know like Liam's family is white. But there's also LGBTQ characters in the present day and in the 80s time period. So I loved the 80s references. To kids today may not understand any of that, but I absolutely enjoyed the 80s references, since that was my time period. So when they buried this time capsule, it was kind of when I was a junior, senior in high school. So I just found this to be a really great mystery. If you like intricate mysteries with good plotting and characterization, and this one kept me totally guessing right up to the end, because every time these kids uncover one more clue, the picture becomes less clear instead of more clear, and it's something that frustrates Alea to no end. So if you like mysteries, I highly recommend this one. And I will definitely be Very Lyga has some other books out. I'm going to be reading some of those this summer. But I'm also going to be keeping an eye out for other books he writes. So, mystery is not your cup of tea. I will help you find something else. Other than that, have a fantastic day and keep on reading.